So before we get started, I just wanted to say that this is my first YouTube video, so please bear with. Whilst I appreciate some constructive criticism, I also have feelings, so just be nice. This is something I wanted to do for a little while, but I've never actually had the time to do it. Now with COVID and being in lockdown, I mean, I feel like I've been in more lockdowns than I have relationships at this point, but we move. So I just want to have a little bit of a chit-chatty video with everyone to talk about things that I've learned and things that I wish I knew when I was younger. And I literally didn't know why no one told me these things, you know? So if it can help anyone else, then that's fab. And if it doesn't, well, sorry. Let's get started. So one of the biggest things that I learned was that the people who I thought was going to be a part of my future and a part of my life plan didn't necessarily make it to my future. Now, it seems a little bit obvious that that happens in life, but I didn't know that when I was younger, or at least I didn't realise it at the time. That comes down to sort of friends and relationships. I was part of quite a big friendship group when I was in my late teens, and I speak to none of them now. I worried that when I go to university or when I start work or when I start doing training courses that I'm never going to meet friends again, and that is completely not the truth. I think that when we're in sort of comprehensive school we think that, oh, we're going to be friends forever, and we start sort of signing each other's school leavers t-shirts saying, oh, love you, you know, miss you, and then you never see that person again for like 10 years, and even then you only see it on like social media, Facebook or Instagram, and you realise they're actually living in Australia and they've taken a picture with a surfing board. It happens, and it happens to everyone. Now, I thought that I was going to be the only one who was like friendless, but I'm not friendless. I don't think so anyway. But my point is, it can be lonely as we change through sort of getting older. Our friends have children, they have different responsibilities, they have a 9-to-5 jobs, or they work shifts, they work different shifts to us. They have life commitments at the end of the day. I always just think, why haven't they texted me back? Like, they're my friend, they need to prioritise me. And it's just not the case. I think our self-talk is so negative sometimes, or at least my self-talk is so negative that I think that everyone hates me or they don't want to talk to me, and it's really just not the case. It is just that life gets in the way at some points, and it happens to me. I mean, I am so rubbish at texting back sometimes. That goes for relationships as well. So I was in a 5-year relationship, and well, 5 to 6 year relationship, and it was a good relationship. It was a stable relationship. It was an enjoyable relationship, but that came to an end as well. I think that we change as people as we get older. It's true what they say that you turn into the 5 people you're closest to. As much as I don't want to admit it, I am literally turning into my mother by the day. So yeah, I just leave that there. But it is true. I mean, I changed, or I felt like I changed as a result of my experiences, and I think that that's human nature. We change as a result of our experiences and what we go through. I did a social work degree, and that changed me. Sometimes apparently they call it like the divorce degree, but well, you know, I wasn't engaged or married or anything, but definitely felt like a divorce. I mean, at the time, it's really not nice because you're detaching yourself, or you're trying to detach yourself from someone who probably knows you best at that time, and someone who you've really got to know over the years and who knows you. So it is really difficult. But if you're going through sort of a divorce or a breakup, or you've been seeing someone for a little while and now that's coming towards an end, just let it happen. I mean, there's loads of people that I speak to who do not believe that things happen for a reason. I believe they happen for a reason. And even if I didn't, I think that time will show you how you've got to this point. So if you're in a low point in your life at the moment, I mean, I know we all are. This is part of the reason why I wanted to make this video, was because I feel like we're all sort of isolated from one another. I think we were before COVID anyway, but I think we are even more so. I thought that if I could contribute in any way, shape or form, then I would try and do that. If you are getting to a new chapter in your life where you have to let go of some people, or they need to let go of you, then let it happen and embrace it. Trust the process. That's all I'm saying. Trust the process. Now, I don't know if I'm the only person who had someone in their life who asked them when they were younger, what is your 5-year goal? Or where do you want to be in 10 years? I had a few people ask me that, and I remember thinking, I can't even get through it like tomorrow. I don't even know why you're asking me about 5 years. But I wish that I'd listened to that person. I genuinely wish I did. Don't get me wrong, I've always had goals. I wanted to have a car, I wanted to save for a mortgage, I wanted to have my teeth done, I wanted surgical enhancements, which I won't go into now. I wanted to do travelling, I wanted to go travelling, that's something I definitely wanted to do, and I've achieved some of those goals, but I should have put them in priority, and that's something that I massively regret. That's something that I massively regret. So whether your plan is to get a house, is to go to university, is to get a new job, do an apprenticeship, complete some training, save, establish your goal, form a plan, and review the plan. That's the one massive thing that I didn't do. I should have looked at my goals, prioritised my goals, work on how am I going to get there, how long is it going to take me to get there, and I want to review at the time where I am at that point. So for example, if you want to save 10 grand by next year or 5 grand by next year, and that is your goal, then I would pencil a little date in that you're going to review it, and I would get to that date next year and say, right, where am I, how far have I come along? Now this is part of my next point, which is reflection is basically your best friend. Now I never used to reflect that much until I went to university, and I realised just how important it was. It allows you the time to think about where you are now and how far you've come. The one thing that I would say to take away from this video, if anything, is to make sure you're doing that alone. So that could be, I mean, I'm not saying like throw your ring out the window and get a divorce and split with your boyfriend and tell him to never come back. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that whether that's a holiday, is a road trip, is a bit of a weekend getaway, or is just in the bath, spend time to think about where you are now, how far you came, and appreciate what you've done. Appreciate how far you know, what goals you've achieved at the end of the day. Give yourself a little pat on the back. I mean, I don't know whether this is just like my family or whether this is people in general, but it's only at certain points in my life that people have said, I'm proud of you. You know, I mean, graduation was one of the points. I've done something in work, or have you got a promotion was one of the points, but I feel like we don't pat each other on the back enough, or we don't pat ourselves on the back enough. We're always looking for the next thing, or what we can do next, or what we can achieve next, what we can do better. And sometimes you just need a break. You just need to take a minute and think about how far you've come and just say, no, I'm doing okay actually, and this is my plan for the future. And trust me, it will build your confidence so much. You will appreciate yourself so much. It's not only good to do this, but I feel like it's necessary. It's done wonders for me. Sometimes you'll use that time to think to reflect and think you're actually exactly where you need to be. You just didn't know it until you actually thought about it at this point. So one of the other things I quickly learned, which I wish I knew before, was that you need to build your networks. So grab opportunities, learn from others. You never know who knows who and who may be of service to you, or who you could be of service to. If you can provide a service to anyone, it could be anything. It could even be getting shopping for a neighbour, then do it. First of all, it humbles you and people talk. I mean, if for example you built a new kitchen because you have those skills, you've got your own business, or you're trying to set up your own business for your neighbour or for someone that you know, trust me, that neighbour is probably going to go and speak to one of their other neighbours, and their other neighbour is probably going to know someone who has their own business in kitchen designs, and they're looking for someone who can help them build kitchens. And that is called building the networks. That is part of life. That is what you need to do. Now, I always used to be a private person, and I quickly realised that I either lost out on opportunities, or I missed out on learning. I missed out on learning from the mistakes of others, or what they could teach me, or what they were willing to teach me. I mean, it's amazing at how much people are willing to help, and it's good to help. It's good, is rewarding. It's nice to be nice at the end of the day, and I think the more of that, I'm all for it. I am all for it. So my last point is, when it comes to your career, make yourself irreplaceable. It could be, instead of saving for 1 month, it could be invest in yourself. So paying for a course that you can learn from and you can build from. The only thing I would say is, if you're going to pay for any learning or any training, you need a plan after that to find out where you're going to get to. There's no point saying, yeah, I'm going to go on this training course, I'm going to do this, if you haven't got a plan at the end of it as to what you're going to do to use it and profit from it. There's only one you, and don't be afraid to ask. don't be afraid to ask, and if you don't ask, you don't get. I remember asking for help when I was younger, and I don't particularly know the specific event or happening or what I was asking for, but I definitely remember how that person made me feel, and I'll never forget that. I will never forget that. In my eyes, that person is gold, because they helped me at a point where I was desperate. I was absolutely desperate for that help and support. So if you can do that, that is making you irreplaceable in itself. That person in my mind that I'm thinking of is irreplaceable to me, because they left such a stamp on me. They've almost influenced me in how I become the person I am today, I guess. You don't really know it at the time, you don't realise it, but I'm so grateful to that person, and I'll never forget that. If you can encourage that, or if you can make an impact and contribute to making someone feel like that person made me feel, then I'm all for it. I'm all for it. So I'm hoping that this video wasn't too preachy, because it was generally a video that I wish that about things that I wish I knew when I was younger, and if I can contribute to anything at the moment, then I'm all for that. I have the time to do it, and I'm happy to do it for now. Constructive criticism is welcome, but please be nice, because I may come across as if I don't have feelings, but trust me, I am a sensitive person. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I might see you in the next one.